All right, I think we can go ahead and start. And first of all, I want to welcome everybody to Real Estate Friday. For those of you that just joined and don't know who I am, my name is Dylan Ruido. I'm the Doral broker for Broker Nation Real Estate. And today, again, is Real Estate Friday. Just invite to the trainings and you can get back to that and share them. The name is brokernation.events. That's the way of everybody logging in or everybody registering for this event. We encourage everyone to do that. Make sure you go to brokernation.events and connect with us and make sure you register. And if you're inviting somebody else, make sure they register as well. If I'm also connected on Instagram Live, so I'm mentioning that so people that they couldn't get the link because they haven't registered, I encourage everyone to go ahead and do that. That's brokernation.events, and you're gonna see a full list of all the trainings that we have and upcoming trainings that you can register for them. Every day, we're coming to you with the latest information, how to market, how to set up your foundation, and how to take advantage of the situation right now. Let's start today. Yes, do we have any lender with us online or connected with us here through the Zoom? If you do, speak.
Yes.
Hey, how are you?
Hi, I'm Shirley Rico from Expert Financing.
Perfect. Thank you so much for joining us. If you don't mind, part of the topic today, we do want to ask a few questions, and if you want to participate and give us a few answers, could you do that?
Yeah, sure.
All right, perfect. What's your name again?
My name is Shirley Rico.
Shirley Rico. Thank you so much for joining us today. I appreciate that very much.
Thank you for the invitation.
You got it. All right, guys. So I'm going to start off by saying this. Be the lion. I'll say that again. Be the lion. I've been saying this before. We've been doing all these trainings. Armando has said it, Steve. We're definitely in unprecedented times. So that means that we have to shift our mindset and figure it out how to fill in the gap, how to service people and supporting people now more than ever. So how to be the lion. So that means that you have to take massive action right now. Don't wait till later. Don't wait until what's going to happen with this new real estate market. Is it going to get better? Are we going to be back to the office? If people are going to get back their jobs back, companies are going to reopen. How long is that going to take? Instead of going with the media and with that same mentality, don't. Take massive actions right now and figure out ways that you can service people and do it, again, right now is the time to do that. So a lot of questions that I've been getting is, how's the market? Have you been getting a lot of those questions? Again, this training is, or this meeting is for everybody. So feel free to comment if you have any questions. So that's the question I've been getting. How's the market? Now that's very tricky because you don't know the outcome. You don't know what's going to happen. So a lot of this thing lands on the lender side. And correct me if I'm mistaken, Shirley, right?
Shirley, yes.
Yeah, and correct me if I'm wrong. But a lot of this stuff can be answered by a lender. You guys right now, you know what's going on. You know the rates. You know how people are getting service right now. How you helping buyers, and that's one of our main questions that we have. So can you shed some light on that?
Sure. Right now, for conventional and FHA loans, we're doing regular transactions. Interest rates are still very low. They have just tightening up some guidelines when it comes to making sure that the borrower is still employed and his or her income hasn't been affected, and they are doing that just before a day before closing. But everything else is a normal transaction when it comes to lending. On the non-QM loan programs, the non-QM is the portfolio loans that the lenders were selling to Wall Street. Most of these lenders are halted right now. They are not lending. Even on the jumbo loan sides, things are very few lenders are doing it, like just a couple. Most of them are just waiting to see what's going to happen. But on the FHA, conventional, VA, all that's still normal.
Okay, good. How would you say is the market right now to the lender standard?
we've been very busy because we were working on a lot of refinances from the beginning of the year. We're still closing transactions now. But also a lot of my loan originators are bringing in purchases. I mean, they want to close before I think things get really bad. They want to take advantage of the low interest rates, and they want to be settled. So we're moving. Things are moving.
All right, so that's good to know. So again, buyers are asking how's the market, sellers are asking how's the market, and we're trying to figure it out and come with strategies. First of all, we want to answer that question, but we also want to come out with ways or creative ways that we can help them, and that takes a lot from us as agents to make sure that we need to pre-qualify people. So let me ask you something. Are you guys giving out right now like lines of credit, HELOC, or anything like that?
Well, on the, as a brokerage business, we offer home equity lines of credit on a purchase as a second loan option. We don't do a straight, well, actually we do a straight HELOC, but it's not like you go to your bank and get a HELOC. This is more towards a purchase that we are offering at the moment. But yes, they are still lending. Yes.
They're still lending, so okay, perfect.
And I want to mention also that Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac have come up with some guidelines about appraisals, because we have had some issues where the appraiser went to do an inspection in a building and they were turned away. So Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac came up with some guidelines where they will allow a drive-by appraisal. So the appraiser doesn't need to go in the property. So they're creating flexible ways for business to keep on moving.
Okay, good. That's good to know. The rates, how low are the rates? How they're moving? How do you see that?
Rates are very low right now. I mean, I just priced an FHA purchase, 3.25, 30-year fixed. So it's fantastic. Even on the conventional side, 3.75 on a 97% loan to value. So it's pretty aggressive. Still very good. Very good programs.
Okay, good. Guys, if anybody has a question, please feel free to jump in. If you have any questions and you would like for Shirley to answer, or type in your questions in the chat and I'll make sure I'll try to ask those questions for you if we haven't answered those questions already. Okay, so.
Daylon, there's a couple of questions in the chat. I think most of them have been answered. How low are the rates? What are the requirements now? And someone's asking, how about lines of credit and requirements? Yeah,
I think those were answered already. Any requirements on the lines of credit?
So on that type of loan program, when borrowers go to a bank, the guidelines are a little tougher. If you go straight to a bank, they're going to require a much higher, like a middle credit score, where on the wholesale side, we are able to do home equity lines of credit with a 680 middle score. So we have more aggressive lenders for the HELOCs, yes.
Perfect. Excellent. Let me see.
But the home equity line of credit is for primary residence only, I must say.
Okay, so I see a question here. Okay, good. Yeah, because again, guys, this could get really deep if we continue going. These questions can get really deep, especially if we're going through any questions that we're getting from sellers or buyers, especially sellers right now or homeowners. They might have a lot of questions coming up, so feel free to reach out to her or type in the question as we go. So what could we do right now as real estate agents and sales professionals? What can we do? And this is not for real estate agents. This is also for lenders, sales professionals. We're all right now in a situation where we need to reinvent ourselves. People are talking about recession. Now, when we talk about recession, a lot of people get afraid when they hear that word. They think about 2008. They think about worst case scenarios. But if you really think deep down on what recession is, it actually creates opportunities, but for buyers and sellers, and money started changing hands. And I've been saying this in past trainings, and Armando have doing the same. Now is the time to follow the money, see where it's going, and then creating value for our customers. So what should we do right now as real estate agents or professionals? Number one, and I have 5 things that I put together that we should be doing right now and taking advantage of the time that we have at this point. Number one is getting to know your market. As a real estate agent, this is very crucial. We have to get to know the market. Now, should we get to know the market as a whole, meaning the entire South Florida area or Miami area? That's up to you. My suggestion is you need to pick the area that you want to specialize in and study that area. So under getting to know the market, so there's a few things that you have to keep in mind. Number one, you have to consider, once you go know the area, let's say North Miami or Doral or Kendall, Gables, like once you pick an area that you're gonna be working at and being the authority in that market, you gotta know the true value. Know the true value of your market. Segment your area. It's called like farm area. Make sure you know the area well. Do your CMAs, do your comparables, determine property values using the comps, and see what comparables are telling you. Because a lot of the sellers are gonna be asking that questions. A lot of the buyers will be doing the same. So make sure you know how to answer these questions. And the best way to do that is being the authority in that market, right? And then you can expand after that from there. But get people to know you in that market. That's called getting to know your market. Number two, selecting a power team. That's very crucial. At Broker Nation Real Estate, we always think ahead and we try to put things together to be able to service you better. And that's by creating power teams, having the attorney, in-house attorney. So we have Nations Trust, having in-house lender, or having lenders available that can help you answer any questions and to better help your clients. Think outside the box. And this is you right now. Think of ways that you can select a power team. And this is the time to do that. So people that you can network, and part of your power team should be finding the right mortgage broker, the community bank, attorney, inspection professional, and so on and so forth. So think of the people that are vital in your business right now and make sure that you build that relationship at this moment. So make sure pick up the phone, make the calls, build that power team before you build your business. And while you're doing that, think not like what's gonna give you at this point, but what's gonna give you in 30, 60, 90 days from now. Remember, we're gonna get out of this. And when we do, how far ahead of the game are you gonna be? So make sure you're using the time to build that power team right now. Number three is
Armand, excuse me, Daylon, could you repeat? You cut out a little bit when you were talking about, you rattled off some of these suggestions for building your power team and you cut out. Could you repeat that, please?
Absolutely, Steve. Thank you for letting me know. So I was mentioning about selecting power team, and I said some people that it's gonna work them sending business to you. So that was a mortgage broker, finding the right mortgage broker, the community banker, contractor, handyman, tax professional, appraisers, lawyers, title companies, home inspector professionals, and so on. Like think of the people that are vital to your business. Going back to tax professionals, that's very important, especially now with all this stimulus package going out right now, and money that's been given by the government. A lot of people can qualify for this, and this could be a topic for another time, and I can go over like things you can start applying. But think of people that have they're self-employed. They might have the money, but because of the situation, they can also get money from the government to be able to keep their business afloat. But at the same time, these are people that are possible buyers or cash buyers. So tax professionals can be a great source of referrals. Number three is finding motivated sellers. Now, under finding motivated sellers, again, you have on one side of a seller's customer's head, it's I want to sell, and this is the time to sell. On the other side, they're afraid, like what's going on and what's going to happen. Our value's going to go up. How's the market? Is it going to go up? It's going to go down? It's going to stay the same. So it's our job to fill in that gap, and we can do that by providing information. Now, these people can become possibly motivated seller. So number one, you have to figure out what a motivated seller is, finding those motivated sellers, the niche marketing the type of marketing that you're gonna do to be able to tap into this type of people, and you can provide your services. Ultimately, you do want listings. Remember, if you get listings, you control the inventory. And 30, 60, 90 days from now, when we get out of this, you do want to have inventory. So we have to be working on how to find this motivated seller. We at Broker Nation Real Estate, we do have the tools. We have the CRM on Tuesdays and Thursdays. We're giving out trainings on how to build your foundation so you can put this to work. And this is a great time to do that, because you can start doing your marketing and reaching out to more people and tapping into this type of sellers that possibly you can get more listings appointments from. So motivated sellers, very important. And use the tools that we're providing. Number 4, become a problem solver. Remember, a lot of people are losing their jobs, they're getting laid off. Okay, they're gonna go tap into the unemployment. Now, there's gonna be savvy people that are gonna be able to get the help that's been offered, but a lot of people they're not going to, or they might be in a situation where they can't. And what's gonna happen with those people? What's gonna happen to their mortgage payments? So we don't know. So it's a good way of finding ways to reach out to them, reach out to people, be the authority in your market, be the authority by doing marketing and following up with past clients, see how they are. It's a good time to show humanity to people. And you never know, you might be able to become a problem solver right away by answering questions, guiding them through these difficult times. And that's what they need the most. So become a problem solver. And lastly, negotiating with confidence. Okay, make sure you're doing your homework, make sure you are knowing your market, putting into action what I just mentioned about creating value for your customer, know the market value, how to study comps, get to know your area and be the authority in your area, and then you'll be able to negotiate better with confidence. So these are 5 bullet points. Again, be the lion. Okay, this is not the time to sit back and see all this thing go by and wait. This is the time to implement everything that we're teaching you right now. So once again, connect with us, BrokerNation.events. We have all these trainings lined up for you, and we want to make sure that you're taking advantage of them and putting it to work. I want to cover a little bit on the networking resources, the part of finding motivated sellers. Some of those resources to get sellers, we're going to be, you can tap into banks, mortgage companies, credit, finance, tax professionals, private lenders, title companies. All these people, think about it, they're getting bombarded too with maybe questions from clients, and then I'll be represented by a real estate agent. So if you can have them as part of your power team, you can also have them as a resource of business. Going back to basics, going back to making sure calling every day, that put together your spreadsheet, your CRM. Steve, let me know if I'm cutting off because I see a thing about my connection. But make sure that you're tapping into people by making phone calls, sending text messages, putting to use the Shine or the Broker Booster once we change the name to that. But make sure you're tapping into that, guys.
You did cut out a minute there, Daylan. Maybe just repeat the last 30 seconds of what you said there.
Okay, yeah. So I was saying that this is the time to make sure you tap into your sphere, the people that your power team. I mentioned about talking to banks, mortgage companies, credit, finance, private lenders, title companies. All these people are a source of business. They can send you referrals. That perhaps they're not being represented by any real estate agent, and this is the time to make sure that you are the source. You are the person that they can refer to when it comes to any real estate transaction, any help or any answer they might have. Do I have anybody with any questions for me or for Shirley?
Yeah, I saw some questions there that I wanted to comment.
Go ahead.
Somebody asked about the minimum credit score. You know, rule of thumb is 620 for either FHA or conventional. There are some lenders that go under 620 for FHA, but it is limited. Another thing on the interest rate that, and it was funny because, the Fed's cut the short-term interest rates, and I was getting phone calls from people from all over. Can I get a 0% interest? And it's funny because that interest is for short-term loans, like home equity line of credit, credit cards, car loans. It doesn't affect the mortgage interest rate because it's a long-term interest rate. So the 0% interest is not what a person is going to have to pay on a mortgage. The mortgage rate is connected to the 10-year bond, and then that's a different market than what, when the Feds cut the interest rate for the short-term loans. That's the money that the banks borrow from the government for short-term loans. And another thing is about helping people now in these difficult times. I understand that, providing a service, a lot of people live paycheck to paycheck, and they are going to be short, funds to pay their mortgage. I just wanted you to tell your clients and advise them not to just stop paying. They need to call the servicing company, the lender, the bank that they are making the mortgage payment to, and they need to make arrangements in writing. So they need to get that letter, that document, or that email that says, we allow you to defer your payment for a month or 2 or 3. They should not just stop paying, because then they're going to cause big problems for their credit later. Because once all this is behind us, it is still, all the lenders that I've been talking to, they are foreseeing that interest rates are going to go even lower. So after this big mess, people are going to go back to work and they're going to want to refinance. And if they just stop paying, they're not going to be able to do so. So it's important to call the servicing company, make an arrangement for the deferment before they stop making the mortgage payment. So I think that is a great service that you can provide to, to your clients right now.
Absolutely, and I agree with you. Communication is key. Before you stop making those payments, or advise your clients before they start making payments, open the lines of communication with the lender. And another thing I would suggest is, because it all depends what kind of lender it is. So you want to, this is across the board for everybody. Make sure that if you're talking to the lender and you're letting them know that, or you're requesting forbearance or deferment, in this case for your payment, make sure you get it in writing that it's not going to affect your credit. You don't want that to be reflected on your credit history. If you're current on your payment, and you can advise the client, if you're current on your payment, make sure you get that in writing. Because if anything happens and once we come out of this mess, you don't want that to be reflected on your credit. And also think about the strategy on how, and you can advise them on that. Think of the strategy. How is that payment is going to be deferred? It's going to be paid in full at the end of the 60, 90 days, or it's going to be attached at the end of the loan. So if you can put it to the future and think about it, you're getting money right now to solve a problem, basically, or you're getting free money right now to solve a problem, basically, but it's going to be paid back eventually. So you have to advise your client, like, when is that money going to be paid back? And then that's what they need to negotiate with the lender.
Well, so during the hurricane season, the last big hurricane we had coming our way, the lenders did defer the payments for 3 months, and they are put towards the bank. So instead of making 360 payments, we're going to make 363 payments. The lenders were very willing to help people at that time. So I think right now it's going to be the same thing, but just getting in writing before you stop paying.
Yeah, that's a great way. On Wednesday, we were talking a little bit about the rents and tenants. Again, might be, should I just stop paying? Should I not pay my rent?
Dylan, you're breaking again.
Yeah, I got it. Can you hear me now? All right. So what I was saying is, that's on the mortgage side, and you want for your people, if they bought up a house or they're paying, to not stop paying the mortgage payments. And like Shirley was saying, make sure you communicate and negotiate the best deal. So I was talking now about the rents. We're still in the first 5 days of the month. Landlords are expecting their money. They're expecting for the tenants to pay. or at the same time, they don't know if what's going on with the tenant. So if you're a landlord, if you have a client that's a landlord, it's good that you reach out to them and communicate and let them know that they should be in constant communication with their tenants, and vice versa. If you're the landlord, they know of what is going on in their specific situation, if they lost a job or not, because everybody it's in the same scenario right now. So we want to open the lines of communication. So again, this is another way of communicating with prospects. Okay, a good way of communicating with tenants that can possibly become buyers, and this will give you an opportunity to reach out to them, and for possible listings or possible way of servicing a landlord or a future seller. So this is also a good idea to be able to reach out to those people and past landlords, past tenants. I was also mentioning, and Shirley, about the payments. There was difference between type of lenders. I know FHA type of loans, they're backed by federal, and they got a little bit more of incentives or benefits. How about any other type of lender? Can you comment on that, or do you know?
You're talking the servicing companies right now? That it's across the board. All of them are willing to do the deferment, but you have to call with your problem and ask.
Okay.
My experience with the last hurricane season is that it wasn't just for FHA loans, conventional loans, jumbo loans. They're more than willing to help people at this time of stress. So but a person has to initiate that, has to call them. I saw the mistake in the past was that some people just stop paying. That's not the way to do it. You have to call, make arrangements, and they will agree to defer the payment for 3 months initially.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, Shirley. Does anybody have any questions that you might want to ask now, issues that you might be having with a transaction and you want answers, or you want some guidance? Please feel free to comment or jump in and ask any questions you may have. Those of you that are doing deals right now, just keep in mind, because I've had this question before, and today I was actually dealing with one that if you're working, like I have a client right now, he's selling his property, but he's also buying a property. So he's dealing with both sides of a transaction. And so the headache and the worry, it's off the roof for him. But one key and one thing to keep in mind is to maintain people calm, okay, not to panic, maintain the lines of communication with everybody. That means with the title company, with the lender, with the other side, meaning the other agent, the seller or the buyer, depending on what side of the transaction you are. Okay, so make sure you keep those lines of communication and help, okay, and support people. See how you can help and be assistance to the transaction. You want the transaction to close, so you don't want to get into an argument or a conflict, or because the buyer's pulling one side or the seller's pulling the other. So you want to make sure everybody's engaged and trying to help the transaction. So think more of the middle person, the transaction broker, than pushing, because people might be asking stuff, or the seller might be wanting things that might not be done at this time. And a lot of issues that are rising has to do with extensions. So if you have any questions on that, please feel free to call we have an in-house title. Feel free to give us a call or give them a call, and they'll be able to help you on that. Okay, so another question just came in. It has to do with down payment assistance. Is that still going on?
Oh, I'm not very expert at that, the down payment assistance program. What I know is that those down payment assistance program comes from the city and from the county. So I'm not sure if the city and county are working on those at the moment. So I'm not sure.
I am working with one right now that before they got into a contract right before everything stopped, and they were gonna apply for a down payment assistance, and they couldn't. That doesn't mean they're not gonna get it. It just means that it will take a little bit longer. The counties right now, the city, they're really not That's not the
what I
priority.
thought, yes.
Yeah, that's not their priority, and they're gonna put it on stop. So I just happen to be going through that right now with one of the transactions, and it's because of that. So now we're thinking outside the box. How else can we come up with the down payment or case?
Breaking up. But I mean,
Once we get out of this, they can go ahead and
it can be a gift from a family member, you know?
right. But yeah, like I said, we're thinking now outside the box, see how else they can work it out, because sometimes there's still solutions to our problem that don't have to wait. But
Right.
worst case scenario, the answer it will be they will have to wait a little bit until we get out of this, and the county will provide the money. But again, that will be worst case scenario.
Right.
Right. Any other question, guys? Again, this is Real Estate Friday. If you're joining with us for the first time, go to brokernation.events. We have a list of all the trainings we have there. They're free. Make sure you take advantage of that and invite other agents or their friends or the sales professional that might take advantage of this discussions that you need help with. This will be a good time to answer those questions through this type of meetings. Shirley, thank you so much. I really appreciate you being here and joining with us. You're invited. If you want to, come to all these trainings, you're more than welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. And then maybe one day we can do an FHA only loan guidelines. So.
Absolutely. I look forward to it. All right, guys. So again, brokernation.events, all the trainings are there. Today is Real Estate Friday. On Monday, we're having Mindset Monday. Tuesdays and Thursday, we go over setting up your foundation through our systems and your marketing and how to create that your brand, and how to also creating leads for yourself. Keep in mind that if you need help with any of this, we're just a phone call away. Give us a call. The phone number my number is 305-873-4406. The Doral office and Broker Nation in North Miami. I think Steve put it in the chat, but most of you have it. If not, it will be sent to you as well. Make sure you connect with us. We're with you every day of the week and making sure that you guys are safe and you guys are still productive. And remember, be the lion. Hope you guys stay safe and have a great and amazing day.